Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 10, text number 18. विस्तरेणात्मनो योगं विभूतिं च जनार्दन भूया कथया तृप्तिर्हि शण्वतो नास्ति मे मृदम्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Tell me again in detail, O Janardan, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words. So here we are reading this chapter, the opulence of the Lord, and Arjuna asking, requesting the Lord, tell me again in detail, O Krishna, what tell Vibhutim cha Janardana, tell your Vibhutis, your mighty potency and glories, because hearing your glories, hearing about Krishna, Bhuya Kathaya Traptirhi, Shanvado Nasti Me Amritam. It is Amritam, it is like so nectarian, your words, ambrosial words, and I never tire of hearing. Uh, I never get satisfied in the sense that I want more and more and more. So please say more. So here we see, we can learn from Arjun that how a devotee should be following in the footsteps of a great devotee, Arjuna. So he know about Krishna and he already accepted Krishna as Param Dhamam, Param Brahmam, Param Dhamam, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, that you are the Supreme Lord and everything he accepted. But still he's saying that I want to hear more. Please tell me. I'm not satisfied. It is not enough. It is never enough to hear about Krishna. The nature of Krishna Katha is like that. Right? So Arjuna is teaching us that how a devotee should be very, very eager to hear about Krishna more and more and more. Many times, devotees they get into this mood. Oh, I already read this book. I already heard this lecture. They tell the same things, and like that. So that is not the right attitude. Arjuna is teaching us here by his example that how a devotee should be always eager to hear more and more, inquire more, have that curiosity, that inquisitiveness, ask the right questions. So this is what is the nature of the Krishna Gada. George Harrison, he says very beautifully, he says, everybody is looking for Krishna. Some don't realize that they are, but they are. So this Krishna Katha, knowing about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, uh, serving Krishna, this is what is the constitutional position of a living entity. Living entity cannot be satisfied no matter what we achieve in this material world unless we get Krishna in the form of Krishna's holy name, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's beautiful darshan, Krishna's kirtan, Krishna's prasadam. The real satisfaction won't come. The real satisfaction comes only when we get connected to Krishna. The example is cited as the fish out of water. If you take out the fish from the water, no matter that what you give, what you supply all the amenities, all the facilities, best of the food and nice cushioning, sitting place, and give a maybe diamond bedded crown and say, hey, fish, you are the Miss Ocean, you know, and whatever you give, but fish cannot be satisfied unless it jumps into the water again. So, in the same way, no matter that what we accumulate in this material world, unless we get Krishna in any form, will not be satisfied. Because that is what is our constitutional position. Satatam kirtayanto mam yadantasya vrata. Krishna suggests also that is what we should do. Satatam Kirtayantu Mam. Always chant, remember, hear, talk, discuss about Krishna. Because there's so much nectar in that. And we are constitutionally designed to taste, to experience that nectar. We are not meant for, eating some junk. We are designed to have the most healthy food. Right. So this Krishna Katha is the nature is it is ever fresh. Anandam Bodhivardhanam Pratipadam. It gives newer and newer rasa. Right? Because Krishna is manifesting through these pastimes. Krishna's name is not different from Krishna. So it is unlimited joy it can give. Right. So this is nectarian, and that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also he heard some of those pastimes, especially that pastimes of Narasimha, Prahlad Narasimha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard like 100 times. So much he was relishing, enjoying. This is the nature of Krishna Gatha. Arjuna is also saying that say more. I'm not satisfied. Ambrosial words. So much nectar. I want to hear more. So this is the nature of this Krishna Gatha. Prabhupada writes here in the purport, quoting from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, a similar statement was made to Suta Goswami by the rishis of Naimisharanya, headed by Shaunaka. And that verse is Vayam tu na vitrapyama उत्तम श्लोकय विक्रमे यशण्वताम रसज्ञानम swadu swadu pade pade. So here Suta Goswami is saying that Vayam tu na vritapyama, we are not satisfied. Uttam shloka vikramaya, hearing this pastimes of Krishna, one can never be satiated, even though one continuously hear the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Yat shanvatam rasagyanam. So this Krishna was glorified with this Vedic hymns. In those words, rasagyanam, there's so much of rasa, there's so much of nectar. Those who have entered into a transcendental relationship with Krishna relish in every step descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Swadu swadu pade pade. At every step, anandam bodhivardhanam. The joy increases, the nectar increases more and more and more. Because there's so much nectar. It is rasagyanam. You see, in this material world, people often wants new things. They get all the new things, but they get same old experience through these new things. These new things is nothing but there are four categories only that one can do in this material world. Ahar, Nidra, Bhamathun, eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Same experience. Initially there is some little excitement, but after that it does not excite anymore. Right? So externals may be new, but internals are not new. There's no new rasa. But the nature of this Krishna Gatha is rasa jnanam. There's so much of rasa in this. And devotees actually they experience that. So their externals may be old. Like somebody says that, oh, what is this? Every day you're chanting the same mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Won't you get bored by chanting this? 2 hours you're chanting. Every day you're chanting for months and years. Prabhupada actually challenged that devotees can chant Hare Krishna mantra for rest of their life without getting bored. But any other thing, any other word or any other talks or songs or anything in this material world, one will get bored. Nobody can chant it repeatedly. Any name, the name of your favorite person, the most loving person, you cannot chant it 2 hours, and that also every day for years. Nobody can do that because there's no rasa in that. But in Krishna Katha, Krishna Nam, there's so much rasa. So external may be old, we are doing the same thing again and again, but internals are new, right? Because how do we understand this? See, it is very, very simple. To understand, Achyatan Mahaprabhu says when we hear Krishna Gatha and we chant Krishna Nam, then what happens? The first thing happens is Cheto Darpan Marjanam. The purification happens. The consciousness gets purified, all the impurities they goes away. And more these impurities are vanished we start to revive our original love for Krishna, and then we connect more and more with Krishna. And Krishna is unlimited, so we can derive unlimited joy. This is what happens. So one can never get bored by this Krishna Katha. At the same time, one can never be satisfied. Now he want more and more and more. There's so much nectar. In fact, this Parikshit Maharaj, when he was cursed to die within 7 days, and then Shukdev Goswami started narrating Krishna Katha. So Parikshit Maharaj clarifies what he says. Na esha ati duhusa kshunmam tektodam apibadate pibantam twan mukhamboja achyutam harikathamritam. So he says that I have taken the vow on the verge of death. What is the vow? Tektodam kshunmam. I have given up even drinking water, eating anything, though it is very, very difficult to tolerate thirst and hunger. Ati dusaha. It is difficult to tolerate the hunger and thirst. But my dear Shukdev Goswami, do not worry about that. Don't think that I might be hungry or I'm thirsty or tired or exhausted. So you should not cut short the narration of Krishna Katha, right? Because Pivandam Tvam Mukhan Bhoja, I am constantly drinking. What is that? Hari Katha Amritam. I am drinking this nectar of topics about Krishna, which is Twan Mukham Bhojam, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your lordships. So all my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, can't hinder me. So please go on telling, narrating in detail. So much nectar I'm driving that even the thirst and hunger, it doesn't impact me. So this is the nature of Krishna Gada. So much nectar is there. And Prabhupada explains there, the entire world is suffering because of this spiritual thirst. Every living being is Brahman or a spirit soul and needs spiritual food to satisfy his hunger and thirst. Unfortunately, however, the world is completely unaware of the nectar of Krishna Gata. The Krishna consciousness movement is therefore a boon to philosophers, religionists, and people in general. There is certainly a charming attraction in Krishna and Krishna Gata. Therefore, the absolute truth is called Krishna the most attractive. So, you see, everybody is suffering from this thirst. And it is just like when a person who is hungry, he wants some food, but unfortunately, if he doesn't know that what is a healthy food, he'll end up eating the junk food because he's unaware of there is a healthy food is also available. So this is the unfortunate situation of this modern age. The people in this modern age, they are unaware of this nectar of Krishna Gata, right? And they are eating the junk food which is preparing them to go to hell. They're eating poison. They will die. People are prepared to undergo janma, mrityu, jaravadi, mrityu, samsara, vartamani, taking birth in one form, dying again, accepting another form, dying again. But then Bhagavatam explained to stop this repetition of birth and death. Krishna Katha, this Krishna consciousness is absolutely necessary. But unless one hears this Krishna Katha from a realized soul, like Shukdev Goswami, one cannot relish this nectar of Krishna Katha, which puts an end to all material fatigue and enjoy the blissful life of transcendental existence. So this Krishna Katha is very, very essential for anyone. If we want to be happy, we want to experience the joy in life, and at the same time, we want to progress spiritually. This Krishna Katha, and there's so much nectar, we never get bored. We derive so much of pleasure, so much of satisfaction, so much of nectar. Swadu, swadu, pade, pade. Vayam tuna vritapyama. One can never be satisfied. And that is what is Arjuna is saying here. That please say more. Please explain in detail. Your glories, your opulences. Right? Prabhupada writes here in this purport. Now, as far as Amritam, nectar is concerned, any narration or statement concerning Krishna is just like nectar. And this nectar can be perceived by practical experience. It is not just a theory. One can experience this. You just follow the process, you can release that nectar. Modern stories, fiction, and histories are different from the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, in that one will tire of hearing mundane stories, but one never tires of hearing about Krishna. See how much one can hear, how much we can read all this newspaper and so many things. Every day we want. That is why you see that you read newspaper like for few minutes. After that, you don't want to even look at that newspaper. So many pages, thick newspaper, so much of news, but it is not nectarian. After a while, you get tired, you get exhausted. But it's an unfortunate situation in this modern age that people are not aware of this Krishna Katha. And that is why Prabhupada started this worldwide Hare Krishna movement. He has created this association of devotees. He has created those embassies, his temples, Hare Krishna temples, where anybody can go and experience the nectar of Krishna Katha. Otherwise, people, like a hungry person, they had to eat something. They'll end up eating the junk food, reading newspaper, reading the novels, all the fictions, and like that, all those stories, with the expectation that they will be happy and they'll derive the satisfaction. But unfortunately, it does not satisfy one. There might be some excitement, but it doesn't last long, right? So, this is what is the Krishna Katha we should hear. Now, sometimes people ask the questions. Uh, oh, we try to read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and we try to hear, but I don't. It don't seems to be like I'm having some experience of nectar. I've not developed the taste. The taste is not coming, and here it is said that it is so nectarian, but I'm not experiencing this nectar. So how can I experience that nectar? What is stopping me to experience that nectar? If scriptures are saying if it is nectar, why I'm not relishing the nectar? After reading few minutes or after hearing a lecture few minutes, I start getting bored. So why it is so? So we should understand scriptures guides us. It is just like, so Bhagavad Gita explains, Bhog Aishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Bharta Chedasam Vyavsayatmika Buddhi Samadahuna Vidiyade. So those whose intelligence is so much caught up, or whose intelligence or good sense is abducted by this bhoga and aishwarya, the desire to enjoy the senses, do sense gratification, bhoga, aishwarya, so much of material opulence, and you want to relish them more and more. If that desire is there, that desire is the root cause which stops you to experience the nectar. You know, there is this story that Prabhupada quotes. Nice story that one time in a village in the olden times, these people, they wanted to go and attend a marriage party. So in those days, that the medium of transportation was they will travel through the boats. They had to cross the rivers and like that. So they decided, the entire group, the groom party, they decided that we should travel in the night. So early morning we reach. So they made the arrangements. The boat was booked. They all reached on time. In the evening, it was getting dark in the evening, and they all got into the boat and they say, okay, let's go now. So this boatman, he says, okay, let's go. And he started rowing the boat. And as the it became more dark, everybody fell asleep. And entire night he was rowing the boat. And when early morning, when the dawn broke, and everybody wake up, and then there was a little light, and they were surprised and shocked to see that they are still at the same place. And they became very disappointed, very angry, upset. They started scolding this boatman. What is this? We are here. We will just miss the marriage party. He says, no, don't blame me. I have been rowing the boat entire night. Please believe me. I did not even sleep for a second. I've been rowing this. So then some of those people, they started investigating that what happened exactly. He's rowing the boat, but why still be in the same place? And to their surprise, they found that they forgot to raise the anchor. Right. So the boat on the banks, they generally put the anchor so that it doesn't move or shun away. So though he was rowing the boat, but he missed to raise the anchor. So this is a great lesson those who are seriously interested in experiencing this nectar, we had to remove this anchor, raise this anchor of the desire for sense gratification. If we always have the desire to gratify the senses and look always for the sense gratification, then probably we are not qualified to experience this nectar of Krishna Gada, right? But the question is, yes, we don't have the taste, and unless we have the taste, how will hear that? I don't have the taste, so I go and hear Krishna Gada, read this Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. I don't have the taste, and it doesn't last long. So how to get that taste? So basically, you say, okay, when you have the taste, you will experience the nectar, but I don't have the taste. So how to develop the taste? So the Bhagavatam explains the formula for developing the taste. There's a beautiful verse again from the first canto, which explains in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam, Shusho Shraddha Dhanasya Vasudeva Gadaruchi Shan Mahad Sevaya Vipra Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. So it is said here, Shan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. Mahat Sevaya. Mahat means the devotees. So by serving those devotees, what kind of devotees? Those who are Punya Tirtha. Those who are completely free from all vices, all materialistic desires. This is a great service, Mahata Sevaya. When we serve those devotees, those who are pure, by such service, what happens? One gains the affinity for hearing the message of Vasudeva. Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. That Ruchi, the taste will come by serving the devotees. Which devotees? Those who are Punya Tirtha, those who are pure. Mahata Sevaya Vipra, Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. When we serve such pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, how to serve them? By following their instructions. Then just by serving Vasudeva Katha Ruchi, we start to develop that interest, the taste to hear about Krishna. And then we can experience this nectar. And it is very, very scientific. Prabhupada explains in that purport that by serving the servants of the Lord, one gradually gets the quality of such servant. So this is what happens when we serve someone, start to develop the quality of that person. And this Punya Tirtha, what is their qualities? There's so much taste, so much affinity, so much interest in hearing about Krishna. So that quality will come in us also. So thus one becomes qualified to hear the glories of God. The eagerness to hear about God is the first qualification of a devotee eligible for entering the kingdom of God. So just by serving these pure devotees, we can develop that affinity, that interest, uh, the taste, and then we'll experience this nectar, right? And once we start experiencing that nectar, because there's so much nectar that you will not be attracted towards any other thing of this material world. It's like a junk food. When you already have a plate full of the healthy food, tasty food, then why you would even bother about looking at the junk food? So all this, material news, all this worldly news, and all these newspapers and stories and fictions and all of that gossip, all this is junk. You will have no more interest in that because you start to derive the nectar, like Rupa Goswami explains. How much nectar is there in Krishna Gada, Krishna Nam specifically? Rupa Goswami explained this. Tunde Thandavani Ratim Vitnute Tundavali Labdaye Karnakrodh Kadambini Gatayade Karnarvudebhyam Spraham Cheta Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriya Nam Kritim No Jane Janita Kiyadbhiramrita Krishneti Varnadvai. So Rupa Goswami says Krishneti Varnadvai. These two syllables, Krishneti, Krish and Na. He says, I do not know how much nectar is there in these two syllables, Krish and Na, in Krishna. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within my mouth. Krishna is dancing on your tongue. And then there's so much nectar. Then we desire many, many mouths. Rupa Goswami is saying, that I feel like I should have many, many mouths. It is not enough. So much nectar is flowing. And when that name enters in the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. It's not enough to just hear Krishna's name with 2 ears. He desires millions of ears, millions of mouth, millions of tongue to chant. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. So this is how, these great devotees, they derive the nectar, so much nectar, and the desire, you know, the millions of tongues and millions of ears, so that they can relish more and more this Krishna Katha. So here Arjuna is saying that Bhuyo Katha Traptrihi Shanvato Nasti Me Amritam. Please say more. I'm never tired of hearing your ambrosial words. So we should also develop the taste, that eagerness, tatra lolyam, api molyam ekalam. So we should also develop that lolyam, that greediness to hear about Krishna, and that greediness, that eagerness can be developed by serving the pure devotees of Krishna. Mahata Sevaya, Shan Mahata Sevaya, Punya Tirtha Nishevanat. So all these pure devotees, when we serve, we follow their instructions, and then we develop the taste for Krishna Katha, which is unlimited. Okay, so these are some of the thoughts on this verse. Anybody's any quick question or comment, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, so there's no question. We'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai.